So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut apart the turkey, because what we're going to do is we're going to look, that's kind of cool, we're going to look at each part separately. So we're going to start by removing the legs. So I'm just going to make 2 cuts, which on you would be right here. Make a cut to open up the legs. Now what I'm then going to do is put this, other way, is I'm going to turn the turkey sideways. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold the wing, and I'm going to pull the wing forward and pull the leg backwards. Just like that. And what I just did is I broke the leg right here. Okay, let's do the other side. Same idea. I'm going to pull back, and I use the wing to hold the turkey. Great. So now I have the turkey with the legs broken. So what I'm going to do is pull the leg, set the turkey on its side, and then simply cut right in between. Very, very simple to do. 1 and 2. We'll come back to those in a minute. Then I'm going to remove both wings. 1. And the way you do this, of course, is you pull the wing back to create tension, which would be like your underarm. And then when I'm pulling back, I just come in and I cut. Two. Wonderful. Now, I have a poco papeles. We have a very little cutting board for a big turkey. Great. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the breast. It's actually the same exact technique that I would use if I'm cutting up a chicken or a duck. It's the same technique. I'm just going to press along the carcass with the knife, separate one, and separate the second. So, in effect, what we're going to do today is we're going to start to look at every one of these pieces and what we can do with it. And of course, let's not forget the neck and all of the goodies inside of here, which we'll talk about in a minute. Great. This, of course, makes delicious soup. So, let's come back to our turkey pieces for a minute. So the first thing I'd like to do is look at a part of the turkey that most people don't really do much with, which always surprises me, and that's the wing of the turkey. So what we're going to do is take the wings. I'm going to cut them apart at the joints. So one, take my knife, and then cut the second one apart as well. Okay, I have two parts. In a minute, I'm going to show you how I cook them differently. But do you see how much meat is on this one? Remember that. I'll show you in a minute what we did with it. Okay, then we have the leg and the thigh. So I'm going to take the leg and the thigh and simply cut them apart. Just like so. Leg and thigh. I'm going to do the other one here also. By the way, I forgot to show you, but culinary students always struggle about how to cut the leg and thigh apart. You probably all know this. But When God made the turkey, he made a little line of fat, which I don't know if I can show it to you now. But there's a little line of fat right, I don't know if you can see that right there. See that? If you cut on that line of fat, that's where the joint is. And it's very easy to separate the two. It's like a little line to just, you cut there. Okay, so I'm going to show you what to do with these in a second. This is, by the way, on the turkey, my favorite part. I love these. And I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, on our turkey thighs, what I'm going to do with one of these is I'm going to remove the bone. So I'm taking out the thigh bone. To do that, I cut along both sides of the thigh bone, and then I cut behind it, scrape down the bone. And now I have a boneless thigh. Look at how much meat is there. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this and cut this into pieces, like so, with the skin. And somewhere is my, I'll find it. What we're going to do later is we're going to use this for one recipe. So I'm going to come back to that in just a little bit. Put that right there. And the other thigh, I'm leaving the bone in it. And we're going to come back to that in just a minute. So I'm going to leave that there. Okay. Are we good so far? Okay. Now, the breast, we're going to do a lot with the breast in a minute, so we're going to come back to that. But I do want to show you all of these, which many times in many restaurants, these are not used, which is really unfortunate. Because the gizzard and the neck, when slow cooked, are absolutely delicious. And I'll show you that in a minute. So the heart, same thing, or I could even just saute it. Or if you want to try something really interesting, you make a hole inside the heart, and you stuff it, and you saute it. It's delicious. And then, of course, you have these beautiful livers. The nice thing about the turkey liver is the size. So you can cook it as is, or one of the things we used to do with it, and it's so interesting, and by the way, for restaurant people, it's a way to make a lot of money. Because what we did is we took the turkey livers and we sliced them very, very thin, like this. And then we put this in flour, and we sauteed it, and we served them as a lunch. And they are absolutely delicious. Crunchy, absolutely delicious. And they cost nothing. So it's a good way to make money. Okay. Let's take those off to the side right now. So that's basically cutting up our turkey.